Hello, my name is Ivan Pozo-Illas, otherwise known as Atrayo. I'm a clairvoyant writer that predominantly focuses on channeling angels of the heavens, and I call what I am or what I do an angelic oracle imagineer. This is my series on YouTube that shadows my blog posts at Google's Blogger. I call it Atrayo's Oracle. And yes, I think what was it? Let me see when I posted. I posted a couple days ago on Sunday, and today's Tuesday, the 14th of March, and I shared 7 statements. My angelic writings, I call them statements, and they're on 3 topics: the pure of heart, wisdom, and gratitude. And and let me just jump right into it. Um, this first one, this reading of the Pure of Heart, number 2380, I've been writing for a couple of decades, will be 4 paragraphs long. And this is the angels as using my vocabulary, but using their own writing style through me. And that's how the automatic writing works. All of the caregivers of paradise, as its living stewards and protectors, know one thing alone is certain, and that is verily the presence of God, period. No doubts and no misunderstandings. All is precious to the one mortal child of God that sees through the hubris of this world, reserving no hatred whatsoever to the wrongdoers and the evil alike, for all is ultimately always in God's hands forever. For any other child of God to be his caregiver in the world, one must always cultivate a pure heart. Aside from having an open mindset beyond naivete and innocence as dispositions, to be divine with a full complement of graces known as the virtues, in expressed moderation without any sort of zealotry, the term of the suspension of disbelief is apropos here, when speaking of a faith in the divine earnestly. Beyond the particulars of any one popular religion in the world, there is one eternal faith tradition as an all-inclusive, simple, and infinitely present reality known as God or Goddess, irrespective of gender, as itself the manifold creator of supreme being. Any other tradition is valid upon benevolence, but it doesn't trump this prime example by any iota, known as the splendid will of God earnestly. To live righteously and in harmony with all that is eternal, beyond the temporal perspective of any one civilization upon any world, a pure spirit is required when benevolence is the advent giver of life, as a prime goal by means of unconditional love one embodied. This supersedes many other requirements as a natural celestial genius at work through the essence of God in all for all of us. Any world upon this or any other cosmos is merely stepping stones of purposeful evolution, some more godly as divine than others, for the nursery of youngins always outnumbers the elder species, by a factor usually of 10 to 1, hands down, for every reincarnated sentient species upon this cosmos or any other. The mature enough species that survive their pubescent era without self-annihilation get to begin to experience something closer to a compassionate utopia upon their native worlds. Humanity, for the most part, is in its tween pre-pubescent era of evolution as a barely sentient species. If one parallel reality of this earth destroys itself, there is a hedge of other simultaneous earths that will certainly survive itself, and just maybe begin to thrive as God intended for all of his holy children with a pure heart. Amen. And I sign it with my name, Ivan Pozo-Illas, and my online handle or nickname is Atrayo, I've been using Atrayo, Atrayo, since 1999 online, so quite a bit of time. These next three are shorter in length. This first one is a spiritual meme, like the little pictures you see online. It's from statement 2344, and it's a one-liner on the topic of gratitude. All gratitude by a person develops the strength of an enlightened humility in practice. And that's that one. The next one is from my social media posts, predominantly on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, they're usually a couple paragraphs. Twitter, because of the limitation, they're only one-liners. And this one, again on gratitude, is number 487B, the B series from my social media posts. To be grateful implies a presence of mind that invokes a sheer eloquence of goodwill in action. With each blessing that has become recalled, the grandeur of the moment one feels grateful for only enlarges like an ever-expanding circle. When two or more persons do so as a spiritual practice, mountains of faith are galvanized, loving together as a remarkable feat of holiness. Forces are marshaled that create sublime pockets of grace, which in turn create additional ripples of wonder that sow the seeds of heaven upon this world of the earth. Only the kind, grateful stewards willingly and knowingly practicing such a tolerant acceptance become examples to shine forth their united divine nature for all witnesses. What was once fragile becomes strong once again in an ever-expanding circular loop, promoting not one ideology over another, but in recalling one love of God at a time as the living gold known as gratitude. Amen. Okay, and this next one, one-liner from Twitter, 488B in the series. Gratitude begets more gratitude, and so forth. So when one practices mindfulness, gratitude is often the pillar holding all as one. Amen. Okay, and these last three will be on wisdom in the similar format as the ones above. And here's from statement number 2350, one of these other spiritual meme on the topic of wisdom. Wisdom brings balance where idealism can be blind in its initial approach. And basically, to explain that, idealism sees injustices and knows it has to act because it has a pure intention of goodwill. This is where wisdom sort of is like a counterbalance, like the scales of the Lady of Justice, like you see those bronze statues. Wisdom brings balance in how to approach such an idealism to have a contingency plan. Otherwise, if you go half-cocked, you intend good, but things may backfire. You may make something worse instead of better. So that's what that one-liner was about. Wisdom brings balance where idealism can be blind in its initial approach. This next one on wisdom from my Facebook, number 489B. All wisdom speaks in a tone that is soft and gentle. However, its actions are swift and profound to the touch of our lives. To walk in life, one must not be confused that the direction they're headed towards isn't the best course of action. With wise introspection comes subtleties that should be weighed each in its own time in order to understand with patience when to act and when to stay calm, observing diligently. Idealism is often naive when it hasn't been weighed with wisdom as to its counterbalance. To rush into effect change without considering the consequences spells a troublesome scenario to unravel without a fluid contingency plan in hand. Although the intentions are laden with a pure stance of goodwill, sometimes good intentions backfire when idealism runs roughshod throughout the scenery. Initial approaches give the best impressions as to confidence in how to proceed. Otherwise, one's luck may ultimately backfire sooner rather than later. And this last one is from my Twitter, 490B, still on wisdom. Where wisdom sees the approach downrange, it is idealism that only notices the injustice and not how to achieve said positive results fully. Okay, and that's basically all 7 of them for this blog post. If you wish to learn more about me, my website is jewelsoftruth.us, because this is a series of spiritual wisdom from the angels. That's jewelsoftruth.us. And please like the video if you've watched up to this point on YouTube. And also subscribe so you could get notified when the next one pops up. So thank you for watching, and have a good week, and enjoy your St. Patrick's Day on the 17th, this Friday. Bye bye.